All right, this next part of our summative review asks me to turn these numbers into decimals. So simple, you're gonna be allowed to use a calculator, but 1 divided by 3, some people gave me 1.3, please don't do that. 1 divided by 3 is 0.333 repeating. You can use the dot, 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 or you can, if you wanna represent it this way, 3, 3 with a line on top, that is the same thing. This part you can do, there are 2 different ways to do this. 3 and 2/5. You know there's a 3 there is a whole number. So it's going to be 3 point something, which you can get that something by dividing the 2 by 5. And you get that 0.4. So that's 3.4. Or you can turn this into an improper fraction, which you multiply 3 times 5, which is 15, plus 2, that makes 17. So that becomes 17 over 5. The denominator stays the same, which is, when you use a calculator, 3.4. So that's the answer for that. This one is asking me to do the opposite, to get these decimals and turn them into fractions. 0.45, the best way to think of this is 0.45 as a percent would be 45%, right? So we can write this as a 45%. Another way of thinking of this is moving the decimal point twice to the right and putting it over 100. I can simplify this a little bit. Divide 45 by 5, I get 9. Divide 100 by 5, and I get 20. So this is my final answer, 9/20. Next one is a little bit different though, because if I decide to do this, use the same rule here, and put 23 over 100, that's going to give me 0.23, right? And that's not repeating. However, my problem here is repeating, so I can't do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue this, and then what comes next, because the 23 is repeating, 23. And now I can use that rule, move this twice to the right. That makes 23.23, and if you want to write more 23s, that's fine too, as many as you want. And put that over 100. I don't find it necessary. If you write just 23.23 over 100, that's fine for me. The next problem asks you to plot this on a number line. So there are 2 things I'm looking for right here. I'm not looking for you being able to calculate the square root of 60, because you're going to have the calculator for that. Remember, press second, x squared, and then that square root is going to appear. If you have questions, I can show you tomorrow. So if you did this, you know that the square root of 60 is 7, my gosh, my marker's not working. 7.7459 and so forth. I'm going to round that to 7.75. All I need is to find the 7.75 here. Well, this is a blank number line. No problem, I'll create it. I don't know, I want to start it like, I don't know, let's say 6, 7, 8. I start wherever I want, and I put my numbers wherever I want. As long as I'm able to show that 7.75 is in between 7 and 8, and it's a little bit past the middle, right? This is 7.5, this is 7.75. It's kind of around there. If I calculate the square root of 14, it's going to be 3.74 roughly. Again, I don't know, I can start wherever I want. If I want to start here as, I don't know, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, very, 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 very important that you label your number line. Please don't miss that question because of that. Label your number line. And now I know that 3.74 is in between 3 and 4, a little bit past the halfway mark over there, which is going to be kind of around here. And please put that number here so that I know, and same thing here, 7.75, so that I know that you know which number you're marking. Next question asks me to solve, which means find the value of x. So x squared equals 64. Well, what could x be? You guys told me today. Let's see, this one is not working anymore, so trash it is. All right. So the x here could be 8, because 8 squared equals 64, right? Or the x could also be negative 8, because negative 8 squared is also 64. Negative times negative is a positive, remember. So here's how I want you to write this on the test. Remember the notation I showed you today. X could be equals to positive or negative. Remember, a plus with a minus under it. 8. Here we have to find a number that cubed is going to give me 27. You guys told me today it's a 3, because 3 cubed gives me 27. Well, could it be negative 3? Let's see. Negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3 is going to give me negative times negative, positive. Positive times negative gives me a negative. And my answer has to be positive, so it cannot be negative. So when it's cubed, it cannot be negative. So that's going to be just x equals 3. Here's squared, so I know it can be positive or negative. So x equals, what number that multiplied by itself is going to give me 225? That is 15. So x could be positive or negative. Remember this, positive or negative 15. All right, it's gonna, if you just give me a positive, that's going to count as half points only. Please don't do that. Half point is not a full credit. All right, the next one is a number cubed, x cubed. It's going to give me negative 125. So you know that that's going to have to be a 5. But can it be a negative 5? Can it be a positive 5? What is it? So if I have positive 5 cubed, that's going to give me positive 125. And my answer has to be negative. So the only number this can be is negative 5. Not plus minus 5. Just negative 5. Next one here. What I'm going to do is get this square root of 121 and 144. So here I have the x could be equals to, since it's squared, it can be positive or negative, right? So positive or negative. Well, square root of 121 is 11. Square root of 144 is 12. So x equals positive or negative 11 over 12.